Matt from Dirt Wheels Garage. So, I wanted to make this video today because I've actually had a lot of friends in the past, and a lot of people say, I'm getting this kind of used four-wheeler. What do I need to look for? Do you think it's a good deal? What should I do to it? Or even what kind of four-wheeler to look for? Honestly, if you have the money for it, get a new one. Honestly, it's less maintenance and it's less of a hassle because you don't know what the last person did to it or how much it was beat up. But if you do want to save some money and go the less expensive route and get a used one, that's not a big deal by any means. You just got to know what to look for. So I'll go over just a couple of things briefly that I personally look for as far as buying a used four-wheeler. So what we have right here, this is my 2002 Yamaha Blaster, currently in the process of going through a rebuild. I got it from the original owner. He was, as I said, original owner, the first person who had it, which, hey, that's cool because now I'm the second owner. He claimed it had low hours, which is fine, but all of us know the butt dyno can tell a lot of things about a four-wheeler sometimes. But something didn't feel right, and sure enough, I was slowly losing compression. But at the time, I wasn't too concerned about the condition because I wanted something I can toy with and build anyway. But as stated, like I said, that's if you're gonna buy something new, at least know what to look for. So I'll go over a couple things. So let me lift this up here for you. I gotta watch because the tail half of my frame is cracked because I rode a little too hard and busted it. But so overall, mine's in pretty decent shape. But what you can do is check out the frame. If you have the ability to stand it up, that's cool, because you can look and tell everything's straight. Now I do have my swing arm bolt loosened up because obviously I pulled the motor out, so it is going to look a little crooked down there. And as you can see, my bumper isn't exactly straight either because I got into an argument with a tree. But check for rust. Blasters and other quads obviously are known to have rust in the lower areas. Check for dents, holes, gouges, stuff like that. That can pretty much give you a good idea on how hard it really was ridden. If it was cased at all, bottomed out, stuff like that. Mine's obviously got wear and tear, which all this is from me. It wasn't from the original owner. It was actually a lot cleaner, but there are some pretty rough spots where I ride out here, so I take that up to be my own fault. Wheels. So obviously my wheels aren't going to spin. I have the brakes locked, but give them a spin. That'll give you a good indication on the wheel bearings. Listen for grating. Watch and see how much they drag. It could be a good indication. Your bearings might need changed out. Also, give everything a good shake. Twist your wheels. You can check for a lot of play in the ball joints and the bushings. Tie rods, stuff like that. Check all the ball joints. Make sure the boots aren't cracked. If they do, you get dirt and stuff in there, which could wear them out really quick. Brakes. you can't really take somebody's bike apart and check the brakes, but I mean, you can test them, make sure they lock good, make sure all the cables aren't frayed, split, cracked, broke. Steering stem, make sure your steering stem doesn't have any play in it. The wheels, keep the wheels straight, and make sure the wheels are lined up with how straight this, your bars are. And like I said, make sure there's no play in the steering stem. Shocks, just twist your shocks and give it a good shake. Make sure there's no play in them. If they are, you could have some worn out shock bushings or something. Same thing with A-arms. I mean, a lot of this stuff should be common sense. If you're at least knowledgeable in, ATVs, then this is all stuff you should know to check for. We'll drop this back down here. Look at the wiring if you have any, access to a harness or everything. Go over all the wiring. Make sure nothing's been hacked at. If there is, I'd obviously ask why. Compression. There's quite a few people who are going to try to sell you something and say, oh yeah, it's got good compression. And then lo and behold, you find out later on that you're low. There's another YouTube user. What's his name? His YouTube channel is Grinding Gears Garage. I watch a lot of his videos, which is where I somewhat got the idea for this video. But as he stated, and I've been doing it too before I even watched his video, bring a compression tester with you. If you want to check the compression and make sure he's not lying, pop spark plug, throw your compression tester in there, and do a compression test. And another thing he stated, which I'm going to state as well because I've walked into this many times, two strokes, leak down testers, absolutely must have. If you're going to buy a two-stroke, make sure you have a leak down tester. The slightest bit of air leak, and you could potentially fry the top end of the bike. That's what happened to my first bike, my 250R, and you know what? I kicked myself in the butt for it because by the time it was all said and done, I kept compensating adjustments for air leaks, and it costed me more money than what it should have. So compression testers, regardless of what stroke, leak down testers. Now, granted, my bike's apart, so it's going to be hard to tell a lot of this stuff, but chains. So if you have your chain on, or if the individual has their chain on, I should say, go over the chain. You can always tell a bad chain. Like I said, if you have knowledge in this stuff, then you should at least know what to look for. If not, that's why I'm here. But make sure the chain's not rusted. Make sure it's not chewed up, gouged. If the sprockets were swapped, make sure you did both sprockets at the same time, because whenever you change the chain, or at least what I do, when I change my chain, I change sprockets, unless the sprockets are in good condition. If you change one sprocket, you need to change both. So go over the teeth, make sure the teeth on the sprockets aren't worn down, gouged, chewed up, stuff like that. Tires, make sure they're not dry rotted. These tires are actually brand new. I've only gotten like two rides. I think I got maybe 6 or 8 hours on these back tires, and my fronts were still good, so I just left the stock fronts on. A lot of this stuff's common sense. Check your clutch cables, brake cables. Make sure nothing's kinked too much. Like I said, no frays in the cable casing. Any kind of moisture gets in there, you do have the potential to rust out the cable. But like I said, this is all preventive maintenance too. So once you get this and do all this stuff, lube up your cables. That'll prevent any rust from occurring. I mean, you can't avoid it all, but for the most part, you can. You can now plastics. That's a totally different story. You don't really need to check plastics, but I mean, if that's something you're really want to encourage yourself to look at, you can. But plastics are self-explanatory, so I shouldn't have to say nothing. Rear axle and wheels. Another thing you can do, like I've been taught, jack stands. If you want to bring a jack stand with you, or if the guy has one, you can put the back up on a jack stand, roll the back wheels, make sure they spin free. I'll sit at the back side of your bike you plan on buying, and just give it a look over. Make sure everything looks straight. Now, like I said before, I have a nice little crack right here, which I got lucky. It's on a part that's repairable, so I'll deal with that. But yeah, wheel bearings, axle bearings, ball joint boots, tie rod boots, cables, wiring, make sure the lights work. I'm not too concerned about my lights because they're going to be coming off and I'm doing an MX build. So dents, rust, stuff like that. If you do a good thorough once over, then you can get a good idea of what a bike's worth or how it's been treated. If somebody says, let me say something. So if somebody ever tells you, I got new brakes put on it, new bars, it's got top end work, new rod, new crank, seals, engine bearings, transmission bearings, stuff like that. If it's something you can't see importantly, just make sure the person has receipts. I don't know how many people have, more than likely, been through some sort of a sale from a private seller and got conned into buying something because obviously people know how to talk and word a listing properly. Make sure there's receipts. Anybody can say what was done, but if you can prove it, that's a whole other thing, because then you're proving the worth. Obviously, if they say they have bars, like I can sit there and sell this and say, oh yeah, I put brand new bars on it. Obviously, you can tell I have brand new fly bars on here. Oh yeah, new tires. Obviously, you can tell I have new tires on it. Certain things are obviously a given. New Nerf bars. I literally just put these on in, like I said, 6 hours. So it's really killing me that I can't ride right now. And I'm about to have surgery in a few weeks on my back, so I'm going to be down for a few months, and it's going to kill me. There's not a whole lot. There's some important things to look for. I wasn't too concerned about it, but chain guides, chain rollers, as you can see, this one's pretty worn out. So are these. I need all new ones. But like I said, project, one thing at a time. I'm not too concerned about it. If it runs and it's turnkey ready, and I don't see any problems with it in person, I'll go for it. Because I know what I'm getting into with a used bike. A lot of people don't know, but that's the whole point of this video is, ask questions. If they say they put money into it, receipts. There aren't too many honest sellers out there, but when you find an honest seller, it's worth it. Because then you get a bike that's taken care of, and it's almost like buying a new bike, honestly, for less money. Just not fresh off the showroom floor, that's all. But other than that, I appreciate you guys watching the video. I'm going to start putting more videos up. I hardly ever use YouTube, but I'm getting back into it. So slowly I'll be doing videos on how-tos, disassembly, reassembly, adjustments, stuff like that. I don't have too much invested into this right now. Like I said, brand new Maxxis Razor, 2011 8 rears, on stock wheels. I got Tusk 45 millimeter wheel spacers in the back, but I'm probably going to go with a +4 rear axle, just because. Fly bars, but I ordered Renthal 7/8 race bend bars, because there's like not a whole lot of control area at all on these bars. Tusk off-road Nerf bars, the Comp Series bars, or Nerf bars, they're nice. I bought a new bulb for the headlight, but I changed my mind on what course I was heading with this, so the light's gone. Compulsive Concept race harness, which I have put away, but I'm getting rid of the factory harness, and no lights, no nothing, just ignition. So I have a Fly Racing kill button and a Pro Armor kill tether switch. That's going to be wired up to the harness, and if anybody's looking for information on the race harness that I have, I can put a link either in the description or in the comments, or just get a hold of me and I'll let you know. Guy's name's Corey. He does great work. Blasters, Banshees. I wouldn't be surprised if he does other things too. It currently came with an FMF Gold Series expansion chamber and a Power Core 2 silencer, but I went a different route and got a DMC Alien exhaust. Up here is a set of Polo Sport handguards, but again, different route. And then my semi-torn apart motor. I gotta wait for an impact driver to get in and take the case screws out so I can split the case and get that torn apart and sent out to Kennel Counter Racing to have the top end redone. It's going to have an aggressive trail port, completely redone, crank rebuilt, and then here, not like it's important, but I keep all my receipts. So we got the cylinder head, and then brand new Tusk seal kit, Tusk clutch cover gasket. I do have a set of Koyo bearings, Koyo main bearings. If you're going to get bearings, at least for a blaster, Koyo, can't say it enough. Kennel Counter, definitely a good guy to keep tabs with and get your how-to videos and stuff like that and information. Koyo, don't go cheap on the bearings, Koyo bearings. But I do also have a set of Meyer race front plastics coming, and Meyer stock rear plastics, as well as Raptor 250 heel guards, and then Lone Star Racing +1+1, or is it +2+1, steering stem, the the shock and vibe clamp, stuff like that. I'm waiting for it all to come in. But thanks everybody for watching. I hope some of this information helps, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Like I said, go over your bike before you just jump on it and buy it, because then it may hassle you in the long run. But thanks for watching. Tune in, and I will post more videos when I get the chance. Thanks, guys.